Welcome to Sunday Mornings with Enlightenism. I'm Brother Malcolm.
And I'm Sister Carolyn.
And we are here to share Enlightenism with you once again on a powerful Sunday morning. When you hear about Enlightenism, folks, it's the way out of the pain and suffering in your life. Sister Carolyn is going to give us some exciting, thought-provoking, stimulating, inspiring insights on Enlightenism and how to use this power to change how you think and live. Sister Carolyn is an Enlightenism practitioner, teacher, workshop facilitator, and she told me recently she does a little online counseling, so she is a lady on the move sharing Enlightenism with all of you. I introduce and give you Sister Carolyn.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Malcolm. Absolutely. A little counseling online is always very good. And I want to thank you for tuning into the broadcast, because Enlightenism is truly a new way to think and live. It's a new way to be in the world. And one of the things about realizing there's a new way to be in the world, there are things that you must do along the journey to remain, let me just say, to remain peaceful and acceptable with yourself. Sometimes we don't realize it, but depression, I think, is a way of not accepting the self, not understanding enough about the self to make that pivot, to understand that there is power within you. Just as there is power within you that may cause some mental lapse of thinking and of being. And this broadcast is about understanding that that happens throughout life. And when we understand that we have the power within us to change our lives, we have the power within us to live a new way, to think a new way, and to speak a new way, then we understand fully who we are and what we're committed to. We cannot be committed to anyone unless we're first committed to ourselves. It is not about understanding so much about others as it is about understanding ourselves. And this is the bridge for Enlightenism. When you discover that Enlightenism is your new way of thinking and new way of living, then you can begin to unlearn those ideas and notions, those beliefs that put you in a place with yourself where you're not accepting the self. When we awake each morning, what is it that we tell ourselves? Do we say, I am whole, perfect, and complete, faceless, formless, and colorless, and ageless, and have everything that I will ever need for the journey? When you say that to yourself, you realize the responsibility of managing or governing your own life. No one does it. We like to give ourselves excuses and say that someone else is doing it. The political process is doing it. My parents are doing it. My job is doing it. My family is doing it. No, even if they are, you are responsible for who you are aware of being, no matter what excuse that we use. And when you learn to embrace the power that you have within us, that you have within you, is about knowing when you accept that power, that you have the power within you to change the way you think and live. That is why we open the broadcast up each Sunday by saying Enlightenism is a new way to think and live. And when you understand that, you know there is a new way to be within your own life. You know that you are self-reliant and that you were born with everything that you will ever need for the journey. When you say to yourself, and I'd like you to repeat this behind me, I am responsible for the current conditions in my life. And we'll say it again. I am responsible for the current conditions in my life. And with that statement goes, understanding that you have the power to change your life. You have the power within you to change the way that you think and live. Last week, Brother Malcolm said something that I thought was just very opening for me, where he shared the Church of Enlightenism. And one of the things that we think we do in life is go to church. And when I embrace the Church of Enlightenism within me, understanding what that means, understanding my responsibility to myself, when I understand that responsibility, I also understand that responsibility as a friend, as a family member, as a mother, or anything that we call ourselves. That responsibility goes with us everywhere we go. So we can say we're the Enlightenism Church on the road within ourselves. I encourage each and every one of you to purchase the book Enlightenism, because in this book it shows truly that there is a new way to think and live. You can get Enlightenism through Amazon, and again I encourage you to purchase the book Enlightenism. It truly is a good investment into the self. It is about a new way to think and live. Start first with the 10 principles and read your affirmations every day. And now it's time for Brother Malcolm. And so I give you Brother Malcolm, author, philosopher, and creator of Enlightenism. Brother Malcolm.
Thank you so much, Sister Carolyn, for those wonderful insights.
You are welcome.
Okay, folks, one of the things about Enlightenism is always power. It's always power within you. I dealt with Enlightenism to find a way out of the pain and suffering, to break the chain of generational suffering and depression and oppression and all of the things that we feel when we lack something in our lives. Who are you aware of being, and what can you do to change the conditions in your life? Enlightenism is about the divine self-knowledge in you, that God consciousness exists in you. God exists in you as consciousness, and if you do not believe it, then you must believe something else is existing in you. And when you can accept responsibility for what is happening in your life, without someone saying, I can't accept responsibility because I need to blame someone else. Enlightenism is about you, the individual, understanding that in order to change your life, you must first address the question, who are you aware of being? And then the second solution, or the first solution to that, what can you do about changing your life? A new vision. You've heard people talk about visions for a lot 10 years or so ago. You talk about a vision as means to imagine something that is not in the visible world. To imagine you with some different qualities. Why do people go from one generation to the next in the same predicament, in the same situation in the society? It's because of the beliefs, the illusory knowledge that we use to define ourselves and to say to ourselves that we are powerful. When we talk about crime, when we talk about people being hungry, we talk about people starving, we talk about illiteracy, we are talking about things outside that has the power to restrict people. You know, you can pass laws to restrict people from having the power that they desire outside. I am talking about a power inside of you that can give you everything that you need. Everything in the world, you can have it today if you're willing to get on the inward journey. The inward journey is the working in the mind to say that I am greater than the conditions in my life. I am not a victim. I am not powerless. I am born of the God consciousness within me. I have divine self-knowledge, a new education, a new way to educate the mind where you're free of illusions. I call it divine self-knowledge. That you can teach yourself. Well, people say, well, no, you can't. Well, let me ask you something. If someone else has taught you and you're in pain and suffering today, it was not effective. It didn't work. So teach yourself. Teach yourself by understanding that you have the power within you. And act like it. Act like it. But if you and me and others, we're all talking about what we lack outside of us. We're dealing with the major corporations, and it seems like everything is so powerful that we are such powerless people. We're low on the ground in society. And the other people have all of the power. And now you want the power. You want what you see. You want what everyone else is chasing. You want it. And when we say we don't want it, what is it that we do want? We want power and clarity. We want freedom of mind. We want to have a powerful mind. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want to wake up every day knowing that we have this great power within us, and we have to develop the power. We have to use the power. Use it to create something else. Something that is free. Something that is not attached to the past. When you attach yourself to the past by race and color, and you begin to believe just because other people lived a certain way, that you have to live the same way. And then society starts perceiving you, me, and others based upon how things have evolved in this country. In this country, where we want to see an evolution, that people come forth and then they attach you to slavery, Jim Crow, all types of things. Then you begin to attach yourself to it. And you begin to say, well, people did a lot of work in the past to help us, so we have to carry on their vision. See, their vision, the vision of the past, is not the vision of the now. The vision of the now is diametrically different than the vision of the past. Let go of the past and live now in the present in your own life. Elevate yourself to believe that you are powerful and that you were born with power, and the power in you created this universe. You do not have to worship somebody else. You can understand that the power in someone else is in you. But when people define power, when they define God, they define God to benefit themselves. That's what most people do. But what I am talking about is discovery. That's different. And I'm talking about a new education. And that's different. I am talking about divine self-knowledge. And that's different. And that's what Enlightenism is all about, folks. When you begin and I began to see that we have this great power within us, then we began to become problem solvers. We're not waiting on something magical to happen. We're not waiting on some law to change how we think and live. We are doing the work to remove all of the illusory beliefs that connect us to the past. And in the past, we were powerless. We were victims. And now we're not. And this is a new way to think and live. A new power source. And the new power source I call Enlightenism. Thank you for stopping by, folks, and visiting with us. I'm Brother Malcolm.
I'm Sister Carolyn.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening.